So good morning, all of you. So yesterday I explained you the poem An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. We'd finished the entire explanation and I said that I'll be explaining you the various poetic devices. So today I'm going to explain you the poetic devices that are used in this poem, and I'm going to tell you about them stanza wise. Okay. So you can just keep your just pay attention, and you can even refer to your books also. Keep your books open and just keep going through. Now see, the poem begins with far far. Okay, so the word far is being repeated twice. So it is repetition, and it is beginning with F. So it's also an alliteration. So here the sound and the word both are being repeated. So it's an alliteration, and it is also a repetition. Now the second is gusty waves. Like by gusty, I told you that it means full of energy. Okay, full of very vivacious, very energetic. So the waves are personified here because they are given humanly qualities here. Okay, so they compared to energetic human by using the word energetic, full of energy, full of life. So that is why it is personification. Then here it is like rootless weeds. It is a direct comparison. The hair, the unkempt hair of the children in the slum school are compared to unwanted weeds or unwanted plants. This is a direct comparison because we're using here the word like. Now, paper seeming boy, the boy sitting there in the classroom is as thin as paper. Okay, extremely malnourished. So here he's compared indirectly. Indirect comparison is made to paper. So that is why it is a metaphor, indirect comparison. Then the other, again, the same paper seeming boy is compared, his eyes are compared to that of a rat's. Okay. And again, the eyes are compared to a rat, but there's no usage of like and as, so it's a metaphor. And it is an indirect comparison to a rat. So there are a lot of metaphors and similes that are used in this poem. Then squirrel's game. Like, who's dreaming of the squirrel's game? That boy who's sitting right at the back. Okay, his eyes are gleaming. It seems he has hope. He's dreaming of a bright future. He's not in the class, but he's outside. His mind is wandering outside, where the squirrel is playing around the tree. So squirrel's game here is again metaphor. Indirectly, indirect comparison is made to the squirrel's game. So that means the boy is dreaming of playing in the open space, in the open fields, just like a squirrel that is running around the tree room. Now again here, tree room. Here we're talking about the squirrel that is running around the tree room here. So again, tree room is again metaphor here. So here, the tree is compared to a room. Indirect comparison of a tree to a room. Now this tree room is the place where the squirrel lives. Okay, the room of the squirrel. And here we are comparing it to the to a room here. Okay, the tree, because it is the house of the squirrel, that is why it's compared to a room. Now we come to stanza 2. Okay, lead sky. Now here in the poem we had read that the what to call it, the slum where they live in is covered with lead. Okay, it is dark and gloomy because they cannot see the light. That is why lead sky, the sky is grayish and covered with fog. So that is why again it is an indirect comparison to the dark future. Okay, the dark future, that is why it is metaphor. Then narrow street, again we're talking about the street that they can see through the window of the classroom, which is narrow and which is very, very cramped and congested. Okay, it's all very crowded there. The house is cramped together. So this is again a metaphor. Now the narrow street is indirectly compared to the narrow world or the world without any hope. So this is again a metaphor. Then we come to the next, that is future painted with fog. Again, the future is as uncertain and unclear. Okay, it's foggy, unclear. So again, there's an indirect comparison to uncertain and unclear future. So that is why it is a metaphor. Then again, far, far from capes and hills, mountains and that, no? So far, far is again repeated here, like the way it was repeated in the beginning of the poem. So again, there's repetition of alliteration and there's alliteration and there is repetition of word. So sound and word both are repeated here. Now we come to the third stanza. Now the third stanza starts with, surely Shakespeare is wicked. Yes. So it starts with surely Shakespeare is wicked. So here, surely Shakespeare, S and S is being repeated. So the sound is being repeated, so it is alliteration. Then from fog to endless night, again F and F, the letters are being repeated, so it is again an alliteration. Now the next is slag heap. So the sentence was, on their slag heap, these children were skin peeped through by bones. So here slag heap is again a metaphor. The body of these children, that thin, weak, which is as thin, the bones peeping out from their skin. So the body is compared to a slag heap, a heap of garbage. So it is an indirect comparison here. Then like bottle bits on stone. So here like is used. So it is a simile direct comparison using like. So it is a direct comparison here. So their future is also shattered, like the bottle bits are shattered on stone, like a bottle is when it's thrown on a rock or a stone, it breaks into pieces. So similarly, they also have an uncertain future. Then slums as big as doom. So again, the simile here, direct comparison to as the slums are compared to doom. Okay, they're almost like it's like a death. Okay, so now the next stanza, the fourth stanza, that's the last stanza. So it begins with, unless governor, inspector, visitor. Okay, lives like catacombs. Here it's a simile, and again there's a comparison here by the usage of like. So again, their lives, they spend all their lives in these graves where their lives are buried into these graves where they have no access to the outer world. So these slums are compared to cemeteries or catacombs. So direct comparison has been made here. Now break, oh break. Again, alliteration and repetition here. The sound and word both are repeated. Then tongues run naked into books. Now here tongues are personified to running naked into books. Okay, so it is again, it's given a human quality. The tongues are given a human quality. So that is why it is personification here. So basically he wants these children to explore the world of books, and he feels only when these children are able to gain knowledge, and only when they get access to books, okay, then only these children will be able to see the beautiful world and will be able to explore the world that is outside, and they can hope for a brighter future for themselves. Then language is sun. Again, it is a metaphor here, indirect comparison. The comparison indirectly, a comparison is made to the sun. The language is indirectly compared to the sun. So this is a metaphor here. So now here I have explained more all the important poetic devices which you are familiar with. So we have completed the poetic devices that are used. Now I want you to go through the Extra Marks app, and again a very detailed description is given there. There's the animated version of the entire poem. Then every line and phrase is explained very, very nicely. So you can again revise it after listening to both the videos, seeing the third video also. Go through the Extra Marks app and try to solve all the practice questions, try to solve the test paper, and whatever notes I give you, please go through them. And if you have any doubts related to this poem, you can just fill it in the Google Classroom app. And whenever we have the next session, and I'm sure we're going to have a live session soon, so then whatever queries you have, you can just ask me in our live class. So thank you so much, and good day everyone.